Good morning, Patriots. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping, wearing my new PETA shirt. People eating tasty animals, which I just had this morning. Some of my tasty venison and uh, pork sausage from my pig. Delicious. Okay, so today's topic is the apparent fear mongering concerning Russia, 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 and a war. All right. Of course, we know the fake news and the Democrats and the deep state are going to push that we're going to end up in war with Russia, or that Russia's going to invade Ukraine and that's going to lead to war with Russia. Okay. Then I see a lot of YouTube channels clickbaiting, fear-mongering, Russia, 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 Russia. Now, I'm not saying that they're all doing it on purpose. I think a lot of them just haven't done the necessary research to understand what's really going on. And they like that big red alert headline or whatever. I don't do that. Okay, so, 1. I do not believe there will be war with Russia. This entire distraction is to cover for the Biden regime treason and corruption within Ukraine. Back in the day, with Crackhead Kid, Pedo Joe himself, we've all seen the evidence. Will anything ever be done about it? But it needs to be a distraction because the narrative on the scamorama thing is collapsing every day. So it's going to be, look at this hand over here. Don't watch this one over here. Look at this one. That's what we're seeing right now. So, this hand over here. So, if Russia really wanted Ukraine, they could have had it years ago when Barry Soetoro, Hussein Obama, and Hillary authorized the shooting down of a Russian plane and then a passenger airliner, all trying to get Russia to go to war back then. Whatever you may think of Putin, he is not a stupid man. All right, now let's remember, Russia's GDP is ridiculously small, like $11,000 per person, where the U.S. is a little over $63,000 per person. With the amount of oil and natural gas that Russia produces, which is not a lot, they cannot afford, literally, financially or through natural resources, to take over Ukraine and have to supply fuel, oil, money, food to that country as well. They can't do it. They simply cannot afford it, which means they can't afford the spoils of war. Ukraine is not going to go down without a fight. Russia is going to lose men. They're going to lose equipment. That all costs lots and lots of money, which Russia doesn't have. They never have had that. So, remember, the Democrats have been trying to push for years Russia, Russia, Russia. Okay? So one angle of pushing this Russia-Ukraine thing is we've heard a lot of talk about a Russian cyber attack. So wouldn't that fit into the Democrat narrative very nicely to cover the pandemic failures and exposure, the crimes, the corruption, the treason, the coming potentially November 22 elections? I still don't think we'll have those either. But to me, this entire narrative is to cover the collapsing financial situation. So they're going to try and cover for the Western Central deep state bankers and the feds who, through all the years of continual magical money tree printing, have caused the economy to necessarily collapse while inflation skyrockets. So they need an excuse, a reason why it's going to collapse that doesn't blame them. At the same time, they're intentionally trying to collapse it to bring us into the Great Reset. So, now remember, the narrative, 2016 through 2020. Trump's going to cause a war with North Korea. Trump's going to cause a war with Russia. Trump's going to collapse the economy. Trump this, Trump that. Every single thing that they were projecting, they are actually doing. That's what Democrats do. So, in my opinion, and it is just my opinion based on what I research and what I believe. There's always the chance that I could be mistaken on this. But I really do not believe that we are going to see a war with Russia. I really don't even think we're going to see Russia try and take over Ukraine. Maybe there'll be a small incursion in to test the Biden regime, but not to actually take over Ukraine. Remember, Biden just about gave them a green light to go ahead. We'll only react, but if it's only a small incursion, what the hell is that? Ukraine wants to know. Any incursion is not a small incursion if you think you're being invaded. So, keep your eye on this. I expect this is all to set up the narrative of a cyber blackout, maybe an electrical grid down situation in certain areas, all to cover for the Democrats. I enjoy being right, like a lot of people. I really hope I am in this. It just doesn't make any sense that Russia is going to invade based on all the details I just gave. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. But for now, I think I'm going to go do me some more pita for breakfast. JT, signing off.